Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today's Friday, June 9th, 2023. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup in my Friday the 13th mug, even though it's not the 13th. Who's here? Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Andy. And good morning, Stacy. Good morning to all of you out there, whether you are watching live or later or listening. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you had a great Thursday. I had a wonderful birthday. So many people contributed to it. I have so many messages I have to go back and acknowledge. That'll be part of today's mission. There's a lot to do. And just, it was great. I'll tell you more about it in a little bit. Good morning, Dennis. Dennis says, Friday is here. Let's give up a cheer. Our friends are near, so it's been a good year. Well said, my friend. Dennis resent, he posted in the, for those of you who may not know, I have nothing to do with it, but there's a First Cup Facebook message group. And Dennis posted a video, kind of like a parody song, I guess, that he and his wife made for my 40th. And I hadn't seen it since then, and it was really cute and great to see it again. So thank you, Dennis. Thanks for the opportunity to relive that. You know, here I am. I'm 44. I don't feel 44. I was actually hanging out with some friends last night. I said, you know, do I look or act 44? And the consensus was no, not even close. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a victory. I don't feel my age. I never have. I still feel like I'm in my 20s. So that's cool. And Andy says, woo. Did you check out yesterday's episode of More Sorts Radio that Andrew and I did about bullying? Such an important subject. Oh, good morning, Jenny. And I hope everybody does check that episode out. I think because once we acknowledge the problem, then we can work on mitigating. I don't think we're solving this problem anytime soon. I don't see schools going away. I don't see schools giving up their authority, which one of those two things are really what would have to happen for bullying to change. Or I suppose a whole bunch of people that actually understood how things work. But it's an important episode, so please check it out. Frank says, I hope these jokes aren't too corny for you all. So what did I do yesterday? Did the show, hung out, had some breakfast, ran the School Owners Mastermind, and then I was done with work for the day. I watched some TV. I drank coffee. I went out to my favorite coffee shop. I had a muffin. I had a dinner assortment of pizza. Like, I just decided, let's sample a whole bunch of different frozen pizzas. So we did that and finished it off with some ice cream and had a couple drinks in there and just really just kind of enjoyed life. It was just kind of nice. It was supposed to be rainy all day yesterday, and it really wasn't. I could have hiked. So I was a little bummed that I postponed my hike unnecessarily, because celebrating a birthday during the week is, it's kind of difficult. Not as many people are around, and you got to get up the next day and all that. But it was still nice just to kind of hang out. I think one of the more enjoyable things was I was outside in the yard with the pruners and just pruning some of the trees. I try to keep everything above head level And some of the things that I've planted have grown together with other things, and I'm cutting arches into them. And it was just kind of nice to work the land. It's a good day. Ray says, age is but a number. My great uncle is 96. He does 10 push-ups a night, mows his lawn, plows his driveway, and was on his roof again last week fixing his skylight. That is the kind of person I'm going to be. I have no doubt. I'm the kind of person that people, I think I'm going to get old enough. I'm going to be functional enough that people will say, but aren't you afraid of? No, I'm not. I'll be fine. My body has served me this long. It will continue to serve me. I will continue to take care of it. Now it is Friday, which means we've got a weekend here. And I'm on the fence of how much work I'm going to do today. On the one hand, I have a Friday with really no appointments. I could do a ton of work. I could catch up. It's also Friday. I have no appointments. Yesterday was my birthday. I could just call it a day. Just do nothing. I might take a nap. But what's most likely going to happen is I'm going to try and find a way to balance everything. Because I think that's really the secret, right? It's balance. No, I'm not going to get all of my work done because that's not possible. Because I would just make more work. But the idea of doing no work, that's not going to fly either. So I'll figure out a plan. What are you doing this weekend? I want to know what you're doing. I want to know about your Thursday. I want to know about your Friday. I want to know about your Saturday and your Sunday. I want to know about all the things you're going to do between now and when I see you on Monday. So you can drop those in the chat. I want to hear from you. Don't forget to hit thumbs ups and hearts and all that for me. Appreciate it. What am I doing this weekend? Comedy show tomorrow night. Hanging out with some improv people. Sunday is supposed to be nice. So it's likely I got to work on the grass. I got to work on the lawn because apparently this is on me again, which is really unfortunate. So I'll probably do some of that. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I'll do some tomorrow. If not, I'm probably going to do some I'm probably going to postpone my birthday hike again, and Sunday will be about mowing the lawn because the weather's supposed to be good, and we've got no good weather coming beyond that. There's a lot of corn puns happening in the chat. Yeah. All right, well, let's do jokes. Let's see where those take us. Jenny says we're hosting our first parents' night out at the school tonight. Awesome. Have fun. Dennis says, I have no life lately, but I'll be cutting grass and weeding again. Andy says, good. Go to the gym in the morning and class after the gym. Well, we are heading up to Kelly's mom to do some work. Good. What is the weather? Let me check in on the weather. Give you a very ineffective weather report here. Today, looks like we've got rain starting at 1 o'clock. High of 65. Tomorrow and Sunday are supposed to be nice. All right. That means, that means I can spend tomorrow cutting the grass, and Sunday will be for the hike. That's kind of perfect. That means I don't have to do any of that today. Oh, yay. I'm excited. It's funny. Yesterday was supposed to rain, and it didn't. And at one point, I went outside, and it was hot, and it was sunny. And I was just like, happy birthday to me. It just felt like it was for me. All right. Joke time. Thank you to Frank for all the things that you do for the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. Let me read Brian's stuff here. He says some fun stuff this weekend. Notable moments: going to a BJJ tournament Saturday to watch a friend compete for his first time. Sunday, we have a graduation party to attend. Might visit with a buddy this weekend I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, things happening. Good. I hope that all are enjoyable to you. The jokes. Here we go. The jokes for Fun Day, Friday. Sunday will be National Corn on the Cob Day. Who is the leader of the corn army? The colonel. Two corns in a field were telling each other corny jokes. They were the laughing stock of the field. I planted corn yesterday. Why did the manager fire the corn? Because he was sleeping on the cob. Why did the corn call the police? Because it got stalked. What did the pirate charge for a corn on the cob? A buccaneer. Why are corn farmers great at eavesdropping? Because they have ears everywhere. Why are farmers growing corn? Don't they know they can just buy it at the grocery store? What's the difference between corn and potatoes? One has ears, the other has eyes. Corn makes everything better. It's amazing like that. A corn farmer asked his field, "Are you listening?" To which the field responded, "I'm all ears." I complimented some corn the other day. It smiled from ear to ear. A carrot, some corn, and a cucumber fell into the ocean. They're all seafoods. What does corn say when it gets a compliment? Aw, shucks. I like that one. Sitting with my shoes off next to a warm campfire eating corn chips. Toasty toes. I was going to tell a joke about a corn eyeball, but it just keeps getting cornea and cornea. I told the corn he wasn't fat, just a little husky. He didn't know how to take the compliment, though. I guess it went against the grain. What does corn use to get on the internet? The cobweb. Solid entries. Some good puns. Some ones in there that I didn't expect. The Tostitos. That's good. Lots of LOLs in here. Dennis says he's making corn on the cob this weekend. There's a great Mitch Hedberg joke. He says, I don't understand why corn on the cob is called corn on the cob. That's the way it comes from the plant. That should just be corn, and every other variety should be corn off the cob. And this is where the title for the special comes from, the punchline here. It's not like if you cut off my arm, you would call my arm Mitch. And then if you sew it back on, you call me Mitch altogether. Of course, much better with his delivery because he was a genius. But I think it's funny. Whenever I think of corn, specifically corn on the cob, why do we do that? Of course, it's because most of the ways we consume corn are off the cob. Yeah, I did plant 2 more garden beds, 2 more 8-foot beds, quinoa, potatoes, corn. What else is in there? Bok choy in one of them. And then lately across everything, I've been spreading, after a lot of research, marigold, nasturtium. What's the third thing? Calendula as bug repellents. And then the third 8-foot bed I got ready. But it was funny. I had a moment. I said, this isn't fun. I'm going to stop. It's my birthday. And then I did other things. And I was like, I'll go work on that a little more. And I worked on it a little more. I was like, it's not fun. I'm going to go do something else. Instead of finishing the task, I did it until it wasn't fun. It was very interesting. I liked it. Good morning, Nathan. And I I won't put the comment on the screen, but Dennis, sorry, Frank is talking to Dennis and says he didn't think these jokes would do that well. When you set the bar high, and this is something I think everyone needs to recognize, and then I'm going to switch into quotes. When you do something, and you do something at a high level, like the way Frank does jokes, nothing will, you're never going to always, man, I'm butchering the sentence. Everything can't be the best. Some things will, by contrast, not be as good. If you, I don't know, if you're an amazing cook, once in a while, you're going to turn out a bad meal. And it doesn't mean that the meal is bad. It means the meal is bad in comparison, in contrast. And if you're taking risks, if you're trying to make things better, if you're experimenting and trying to improve, you're even more likely to have some that don't hold up compared to the others. I've done that. I've had meals that I've cooked for people that I took a little bit of a risk and it didn't work out. Usually it does, but once in a while I was like, sorry, I took a gamble here. It didn't work. And we need to be okay with that, because what's the alternative? The alternative is you don't take those risks. And if you don't take those risks, you don't have that progress, that growth. We learn through experimentation. We learn from getting things wrong. And that's okay. Even a bad day of jokes, and this was not a bad day, but even a bad day of jokes would still be a good day. Right? Oh, can't believe I forgot to say this. Yesterday on the mastermind call, one of the people show up and they're wearing a birthday hat and they have a noisemaker. And as soon as I let him in from the Zoom waiting room, it was awesome. You know who you are. Thank you. And then another person came in later, did the exact same thing. So I felt special yesterday. It was pretty great. Yeah, and then this is sort of one of the cliche statements that I was thinking about when I said, a bad day of jokes. Then it says, I've always said a bad day of vacation beats a good day of work any day of the week. Stacy says, even a day where jokes fell on deaf ears is better than no jokes. Yeah. I would rather listen to mediocre jokes than a boring story. And once again, these weren't mediocre. Are these the best jokes we've ever done? No, that's okay. There are only so many things you can do with corn. What was the other one that I really liked? The aw shucks one. What does corn say when it gets a compliment? Aw shucks. That's a timing. That one's about timing. All right. Let's take quotes. Let's see where those take us. Oh, and you know what? I missed the pun. Stacey said, even a day where jokes fell on deaf ears is better than no jokes. I don't always pick up puns. I don't know why. I miss them often. It's just not how I think that's where I tend to process information very left-brained. So I tend to be pretty literal when things come in. All right. So let's see what we got for quotes here. That screen is too big. We're fixing this. Stacy liked the corn joke. Yeah. All right. Gratitude is riches. Complaint is poverty. Doris Day. I feel either we're starting to understand this as a society, or I'm just starting to understand, or I'm understanding this as a person, because I'm seeing this everywhere. One of the things that I don't want to say struggled with, but one of the things yesterday was, how am I going to celebrate my birthday? What am I going to do for myself? I said, I could buy myself something. One of the things I tell myself, I could buy myself anything. Can't buy myself everything, but I could buy myself anything. What do I want? And I went through a variety of things that I wanted. It's like, okay. But how long am I going to want them for? Because I don't know about you, but historically I've struggled with buying things simply to buy things because I grew up not much. And I've been a lot better lately. When I buy something, I'm like, okay, this has some utility in it. I'm going to spend some time with this. This makes sense. And everything I came up with the exception of buying myself a riding lawnmower, which I refused to do on my birthday, fell flat. I was like, I don't really care. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I even went into a couple stores and I was like, eh. Oh, the other thing I saw that I really liked was a much better wheelbarrow. Also, not something I'm going to buy myself on my birthday. $200 wheelbarrow, but you could have beat the tar out of this thing. It was rugged. So in the end, I said, what are the things that make my day great? Spending time with people I care about, feeling productive, being outside, getting some movement. I didn't have a ton of movement yesterday, but I did all the rest. But I did not pet a dog. So I have to remedy that today because usually that's top on my list. And it was end of the day and I was like, I didn't pet a dog today. Very strange. I saw a few, but I didn't pet them. It's probably my one regret from yesterday. I didn't pet dogs. But that's a long-winded way of saying it's not about the stuff. It's about how we approach life. If gratitude is riches, and what's the other side? Complaint is poverty. It's about how we look at things. I am grateful that I get to do this show, which is why it's never an issue for me to get out of bed and do this show. Take a look at any show, any weekday show. Find me a show that is more consistent than this one. There is nothing on network TV that is more consistent with new programming than First Cup. With the possible exception of the news, but you have different hosts. The people swap out. The show might be there, right? You won't find it. I'm not aware of it. I love doing this show because I love all of you. I love this as part of my morning routine. We laugh together. We talk about our lives together. And we think together. And I think that's great. Good morning to you, Gad. Gad says, oh no, missed the jokes. You can always go back later. Dennis says, I was literally LOLing through all the jokes. I loved them. We do something special with this show. We really do. We've done something that I don't think anybody else does. We've built a small, tight community. And I see it when you talk to each other. How many people do you have this much outside of your direct family, outside of the people you work with? How many people do you have conversation with 5, 6, 7 days a week? It's kind of great. Next. From Maya Angelou, don't bring negative to my door. When I work with clients, the number one thing that the biggest roadblock that some of them put up for me is a negative perspective. This is wrong. This is broken. I suck. I can't do that. Well, we got to fix that first because I can't do anything for you until we can get on the other side of that. And sometimes that's really difficult. It takes a lot of creativity. I had a client yesterday, one who has seen tremendous success, specifically around attitude and direction in a very short period of time. And I'm super proud of him. Sent me a message and said, I know it's your birthday and thought I might share these wins with you. And it was awesome. It was so great to get a text like that. And the reason things are going well for him in his school, he changed his mindset. If you dwell in negative, all you will see is negative. If we combine this with the first quote, gratitude is riches. If you recognize what you have, if you can look at it in that way, go, wow. A couple of things happened last weekend. Just some people I was hanging out with, and I took a look around yesterday. I was able to see what I have, my life, my home, from a slightly different perspective, and I just realized, holy cow! I have this beautiful piece of land and what I kind of refer to as a cabin in the woods. Because if you call it a cabin in the woods, it sounds very fancy. If you call it a small home, less fancy. But to me, this is my cabin in the woods. Also, cabins in the woods, not as big of a deal when you find a spider. Homes, people don't like to find spiders in homes, but spiders are expected in cabins, so it's all right. And just kind of looking around at the things that I have. I put my plants outside on the porch, and just, because of that, I can see things differently here. And I'm like, I've built a great place and a great life. And it wasn't until I shed the negativity that I was able to do that. And I owe a lot of that over the last 6 months to having gone to the Tony Robbins event. You all probably have seen a change in me. I'm very proud of the work that I'm doing. I'm proud of the changes that I've made. I'm proud of what I'm bringing to the world. And the one thing I work really hard not to do is bring negativity. I used to be a very negative person. None of you knew me back then, but I was incredibly negative. Cynical is probably a better word. No more. Doesn't serve me. And he says, it's about family, having fun with. Yeah. And Gad says, first cup has definitely enriched my life in ways that matter, non-material. Yeah. All right, let's do our last quote here. If you let go a little, you will have a little happiness. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of happiness. If you let go completely, you will be free. Ajahn Chah. What do we mean by letting go? Allowing. Not being overly stuck to an outcome. Being open. Seeing where things take you. This doesn't mean that you don't try and you don't care. But it's more like, imagine someone kayaking down a river, some manner of paddling. You'll have stretches that are really easy and you can paddle, from side to side if you want. Maybe you can even turn around and paddle back upstream if you've got to, want to. But you'll also have other stretches where the river's rough and you kind of just have to hold on and let it take you where you want to go, or where it wants to go. Regardless, you're going to end up downstream. You can make corrections later. But what happens when you get to those rapids, those tumultuous points, and you spend all your energy fighting to be on that side of the river when the river really wants you on that side? You burn out. You're still on this side of the river where you didn't want to be. But when you get through that, you get to the calm point, you don't have the energy to go over there. That's a lot of people. A lot of people spend a lot of energy and burn out, and then they got nothing to work with. So maybe this weekend, you let go a little. You become a little less beholden to outcomes and find more value in effort and process, intent. Yeah. time to go. Thank you all for coming by. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I appreciate all the support yesterday on my birthday. And remember, if you want to support Whistlekick in our mission, all the things that we do to bring friendship and family to the martial arts community, you know what to do. Tell people about what we do. Pick something up at the store with the code First Cup 15, like those new pants, which are in the wash, or that new small bag, or any of the other many things. Events are options as well. Would love to have your support. So thank you all. Take care. And I'll see you on Monday. Peace.